Welcome to episode 469 of AI Brief. We have an incredibly massive deep dive for you today. We are looking at OpenAI's sweeping new blueprint for rewriting society's economic rules.
We also have a bombshell investigation surfacing internal memos about Sam Altman's leadership.
Plus, Meta's push to ship its first new models under Alexander Wang.
And we will do a rapid-fire roundup of everything else in AI today.
Followed by a breakdown of today's trending productivity tools.
Let us jump straight into the massive 13-page policy document OpenAI just published. They're asking Washington to prepare for a transition to artificial superintelligence, or ASI.
Imagine a meteorologist knocking on your door, completely unprompted, to hand you a set of blueprints for an underground bunker.
You definitely would not just put that in a drawer. You would look at this guy immediately.
Because meteorologists do not hand out bunker blueprints unless they are absolutely certain a Category 5 storm is about to make landfall. And that is essentially what this document is.
It really is. They lay out proposals that are just, they are staggering. Taxing robot labor, for one, and taxing AI-driven profits.
They also want a federally mandated 4-day work week across the board.
And a right to AI access mandate for all citizens. Plus, establishing these containment playbooks for rogue autonomous AI.
Wait, a containment playbook, how does that actually function in practice?
Basically, it is a rigid set of operational protocols. If an autonomous AI gets access to critical infrastructure, you need an automated mechanism to isolate and shut it down the second it attempts an unauthorized operation.
Oh, wow. So literal kill switch.
Absolutely. But the overarching premise is that ASI is not a distant concept for them anymore. The economic fallout is going to be so severe that current wealth distribution methods will just collapse.
Which brings us to the most aggressive idea in the entire document, a national wealth fund.
Modeled after the Alaska Permanent Fund, where residents get a cut of the state's oil revenue.
So the concept is this fund would be seeded directly by AI firms, and it would pay out dividends to every single American citizen.
Well, in Alaska, you have physical oil being extracted, and the state taxes that. OpenAI is suggesting that computational power is a similar foundational resource.
So if a massive percentage of the workforce transitions to a 4-day work week, or gets entirely displaced, the income tax base falls apart.
It collapses entirely. A sovereign-style wealth fund, fueled by a tax on AI-driven labor, becomes the only mathematical mechanism to keep the consumer economy functioning.
It is incredible when the CEO of an $852 billion company asks the government to prepare for his tech breaking the economic system. It shows a profound belief that this disruption is actually imminent.
But you cannot separate the massive power of those future visions from the heavy scrutiny on his character. You are asking the public for unprecedented trust.
And that takes us directly into the new New Yorker investigation. It is a very critical look at Sam Altman's internal leadership, drawing on over 100 interviews.
Spanning his entire career, from conflicts at his early startup, Looped, to allegations that partners at Y Combinator tried to push him out.
All the way to the recent OpenAI board drama. And the specific evidence they surface here is what makes it a bombshell.
They reference unseen memos from the former chief scientist, Ilya Sutskever, and these were compiled from 70 pages of internal Slack messages and human resources documents.
70 pages, just documenting internal operations.
Documenting allegations that Altman consistently misrepresented internal company protocols to the board.
They also highlight private notes from Dario Amodei, the former VP of Research. His notes concluded, verbatim, the problem with OpenAI is Sam himself.
There's even a quote from a Microsoft executive stating there is a small but real chance Altman is remembered as a Madoff or Bankman-Fried level scammer.
Wait, hold on, a scammer? Madoff ran a literal Ponzi scheme, but ChatGPT is a working product that hundreds of millions of people use every day.
Sure, the technology is highly functional. But the comparison to Madoff or Bankman-Fried here is about the absolute collapse of trust regarding internal reporting.
Ah, I see. So the perceived value and the reality of the internal operations were completely divorced.
Definitely. The concern is structural. If the board overseeing the transition to artificial superintelligence cannot trust the operational information provided by the CEO, the governance structure is an illusion.
But we also have to acknowledge he has fiercely loyal supporters. Many current coworkers defend his operational strategy unconditionally,
making the CEO of this nearly trillion-dollar company one of the most polarizing figures alive today.
And contrasting that internal drama and market dominance, you have Meta making a massive, urgent push to catch up in the frontier AI race.
Alexander Wang's superintelligence team over at Meta is getting ready to ship their first models, but it is definitely a struggling push.
Because their model, internally codenamed Avocado, was already delayed back in March.
The benchmark performances simply fell short of rival models across the board.
Which raises a really pointed question. After pouring massive amounts of money into a high-profile new team, how painful would another flop be for a tech giant desperate to establish dominance?
It would be a severe operational blow. In an ecosystem where the state-of-the-art changes monthly, failing benchmarks means releasing an obsolete product.
So what is their strategy now?
They are shifting to a consumer-focused hybrid approach, broad distribution directly into apps like Instagram and WhatsApp.
Featuring some open source models while keeping the largest models closed.
Well, they know it will not be universally competitive on paper, but they believe it has specific areas of massive consumer appeal.
Let us actually slow things down for a second and transition into a more measured, deliberate look at the broader ecosystem today.
Starting at the top of the financial architecture. The information is reporting friction between Sam Altman and OpenAI Chief Financial Officer Sarah Friar over IPO timing.
Though OpenAI has officially denied that claim.
And looking at physical infrastructure, we're seeing a major geopolitical escalation. Iran's military has singled out the $30 billion Stargate data center in Abu Dhabi as a target.
They published detailed satellite footage of the site, and they vowed to destroy United States infrastructure in the region.
It really highlights the physical vulnerability of these systems. Moving to the consumer side, OpenAI's head of business finance, Chengpeng Mu, shared some staggering volume metrics.
ChatGPT is now processing 2 million insurance messages weekly just for healthcare questions.
2 million times a week, a model is decoding complex medical insurance documents for consumers.
Google also released AI Edge Eloquent. It is a free iOS dictation app that cleans up raw speech, but it runs entirely on the device.
No cloud connection required, which is a massive operational shift for privacy.
Finally, Legion Health just won state approval for its AI app to directly refill psychiatric medications.
Which is the first time a state has greenlit an AI for this specific process without any clinician oversight.
Pivoting from global news to actionable everyday applications for you, let us break down today's trending productivity tools.
Keep in mind the theme here is autonomous execution. First up is de novo. You can build and run your business operations while you sleep.
Then we have Fastlane. It generates viral content for your product in mere seconds.
Then is incredibly important for infrastructure. It allows you to connect AI agents to your apps with strict operational guardrails.
We are also tracking Databox. It translates raw business performance data into clear, actionable insights.
Netflix has entered the open source space with Void. It is a physics-aware AI designed for highly realistic video editing.
Reiterating Google's AI Edge Eloquent here, a free voice dictation app running fully offline.
And rounding out the list is MAI Image 2, Microsoft's latest image AI featuring upgraded realism and creativity.
The sheer scale of everything we covered today leaves you with a final thought to ponder.
It really does.
If AI disrupts the economy so severely that we require national wealth funds and a 4-day workweek, how will the fundamental human drive for ambition and purpose change?
Especially when traditional work is no longer the absolute center of our lives.
It is something we will all have to navigate. Be sure to follow the podcast and share AI Brief with others who need to stay informed.
Thank you so much for listening.
See you in the next episode.